For those of you who didn't know, I'm a big pitching guy. And the art of pitching and development is really fascinating, eye-opening, one of my favorite things to look at in the game of baseball. And today, we're going to look at 5 pitchers who have had breakout minor league seasons, but in a very much under the radar fashion. All of this and more after the intro.
A 2-out payoff. Tyler O'Neill.
Before I begin, a few ground rules. I will be highlighting a few starters and one reliever, as well as an honorable mention. And to qualify for this list, a player must not have made either of the Fangraphs or MLB Pipeline Top 30 prospect lists for their organization prior to the 2024 season. Again, this isn't a list of the 5 best breakouts, but just 5 that went under the radar that I really want to highlight. And 3, while I'm aiming to highlight players who could be top 30 prospects, some of these breakouts may have been so good that they kind of forced their way onto a top 30 prospect list. Without further ado, let's dive into the list. First shout out to Gil Hill of the Tampa Bay Rays. Most prospect evaluators will say there's a risk to drafting high school pitchers, but that doesn't seem to stop teams from doing so. Gil Hill is yet another example of the Rays and some of their sorcery. Drafted in the 6th round of the 2022 draft, the right-hander debuted in 2023 and performed well for an 18-year-old pitcher at Single A. Gil Hill was not viewed as highly as other Rays pitching prospects going into 2024, but this season he certainly made a name for himself. In just over 100 innings, Gil Hill pitched to a 3.15 ERA, 3.55 FIP, 24.2% strikeout rate, and 6.2% walk rate. His numbers would have been arguably even more pristine had it not been for a tough stretch of starts in late August that saw him post a 6.75 ERA across 4 starts. Gil Hill has succeeded on the back of his 50 to 55 grade arsenal with command that has plenty of potential to be even sharper. Rays coaches have noticed that his pitches have plenty of room to become plus pitches, and with his 2027 ETA, he could be a future ace or mid-rotation starter for a Rays team that is always on the hunt for cheap, cost-controlled pitching. The next arm I want to highlight is Cole Drake in the Texas Rangers system. Taking out of Walser State in 2022, Cole Drake wasn't really held in the highest of regard by evaluators in a Ranger system that is loaded with young pitching talent. But this season, oh baby, Drake emerged with an incredible year, going from Single A to High A and Double A, and when the season was all said and done, he finished with a combined 2.29 ERA, 2.80 xFIP, striking out 35.4% of batters, while walking only 7.4. He made it as high as Double A this season, and his fastball is graded out as above average by MLB Pipeline, and Fangraphs has it as a 60 out of 60. Pretty damn good. His off-speed and breaking pitches have shown increasingly good spin from 23 to 24, and as a result of his performance, he shot up into the Rangers' top 30 per MLB Pipeline, despite not being ranked going into the year. While some of his underlying numbers did not look the best in 20 innings at Double A, it was his first stint at Double A, and he looks to improve upon his breakout next season. In my opinion, he could be in consideration for a late 2025 call-up if he's able to continue his dominance from 2024. I don't think there is a prospect evaluator out there that is higher on Jared Kolar from the Padres system as I am. One of the first prospects I began to follow really with a lens when I got back into this whole thing. Kolar came out of nowhere to deliver an incredible breakout in 2024. Now, he was solid in 2023 in his first pro season. However, 2024 has featured a higher workload at higher levels, and he certainly delivered nonetheless. He finished the year with a 3.65 ERA across 28 games, with 22 of those games being starts. Now, all but one of those 6 other outings was in long relief. So, he's clearly stretched out for a starter's workload. Kolar isn't the hardest of throwers. His fastball averages 88 to 92 miles per hour, but he pairs it with a solid bevy of pitches, which include a changeup, a curveball, and a cutter that cover the north-south and east-west areas of the zone. He might not have the biggest extension coming off the mound, averaging between 5.2 and 5.6 feet of extension, but his over-the-top motion allows his curveball and cutter to get some extra bite that they might not get from a 3/4 slot. He's posted impressive command at every level between A-ball and Double-A, and begun to find his groove at Triple-A in September. And personally, while I'm not the biggest believer in player comparisons, because they can be something of a flawed evaluation method, some of his numbers, his choice of pitches, and even his delivery to me really draw comparisons to former MLB All-Star Marco Estrada with similar velocity, pitch profiles, and extension, as well as release height that is pretty much almost the same. Now, Kolar coming out of nowhere to make it from Double A to Triple A, and even from just Low A last season to Triple A this year, that's the definition of an under-the-radar breakout if I've ever seen one. And for me personally, I believe he could look to make a big league impact come 2025. The next player I want to highlight is Chris Campos at the Dodgers system. Drafted in the 7th round in 2022, Chris Campos entered the 24 season with a 5.04 ERA in 76 and 2/3 innings at the complex and single-A levels. Starting the year with high-A Great Lakes, he out of nowhere produced dazzling results, earning himself a promotion to Double-A. Campos' slider has graded out strongly along with his fastball, each with a Fangraphs rating of 45 and 40 of present value. Campos has shown an advanced understanding of his strengths as a pitcher, which sets him up for success on the mound, and as a former collegiate shortstop, he certainly has no issues with throwing hard. His arm action is strong and he has a smooth delivery on the mound, reaching 96 on his fastball. He has experience as a starter and reliever, and with a 2027 ETA, he could be another under-the-radar find for a system always chock full of pitching. For my breakout reliever pick, I'm going with Tyler Owens in the Detroit Tigers system. Acquired by the Tigers in the deal for Carson Kelly, this right-hander has made strides in his first full season as a reliever. Originally drafted by the Braves in 2019, he was traded to Texas in 2023, and after a rough end to the season, his 2024 season with the Rangers and Tigers certainly turned some heads. Owens struck out 25.7% of batters while walking 7.5%, posting a 2.96 ERA and FIP in the mid-threes between both organizations at Double-A. While Owens has some starting experience, he profiles more as a one-inning reliever, and he's touted for his controlled velocity as while he sits 94 to 95, he's not prone to giving up too many walks. That remained the case in 2024, and he's projected to be a 2025 call-up with his fastball slider cutter combo, giving him options against both lefties and righties. So, we know that the Detroit pitching factory of chaos is still got the wheels turning, and Owens just might be another member to add to that fire. For my honorable mention, I want to talk about Omar Cruz in the San Diego Padres system. Cruz is actually in his second stint with the Padres organization, originally traded to Pittsburgh for Joe Musgrove, and now he was selected in the minor league phase of the Rule 5 draft going into the 2024 season. Cruz has performed excellently in his return to the Padres organization, tossing 86 1/3 innings with a 3.96 ERA, albeit with a much more promising 3.52 xFIP. His 32.3% strikeout rate across that span is impressive, and while his 9.9% walk rate is a bit high for a starter, Cruz has shown an ability to work as a swingman as both a starter and reliever. He came up initially as a starter with the Padres before the trade, and then he was sent to the bullpen in Pittsburgh. However, coming back to the Padres, he seems to be a guy who's open to pitching in whatever role will help his team win, which is a great trait for any baseball player. Now, Cruz estimates to be a 2025 call-up simply because of his age, his maturity on the mound, and his pitch mix, which features an impressive 60-grade changeup according to Fangraphs, and a 55-grade fastball. I've been very impressed with Cruz's performances in the 2024 season, and I look forward to seeing him in the majors sooner than later. And there you have it, folks. 5 minor league pitchers who had very under-the-radar breakouts. Let me know down below if you want to see me do this with 5 minor league hitters who had very under-the-radar breakouts this season. Same criteria will apply. Now, thank you very much for watching this video. It's my first video about prospects in a while, and I look forward to doing more of this kind of content in the future. So, while I have you here, make sure to click the subscribe button for more videos like this one. Make sure to click like on this video to let me know that this is good. This will really help me out with the algorithm. I'm going to go finish editing this, so thank you all so very much for watching. I really appreciate all of you watching these videos. And clearly I did not prepare an outro, so with that being said, this is Sound of Baseball, signing off.